Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about site enhancement. In particular, I'm going to be talking about what oils and things people have been using and hyaluronic acid and how it may be different than other site enhancement injections. So, just my disclaimer, I am not a doctor and I am not a chemist, nor do I pretend to be either one of those things. I do not encourage the use of any substances, legal or illegal, and this video is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. So, hyaluronic acid is commonly used as a lip filler, and more recently has been used for injections into site-specific enhancement for bodybuilding and such. People use it in their rear delts a lot, biceps, triceps, all sorts of different muscles. I've seen people inject it into their lats. Basically, it is a viscous thing that can be broken down by the body, and I believe, I think the data showed 1 to 6 months, or no, it was 6 months to a year or 2 years is the breakdown time for hyaluronic acid. It definitely inflames the muscle, just like injecting anything into a muscle will do. The theory is that since hyaluronic acid can be broken down, it is less dangerous and could potentially give you time to grow actual muscle tissue in that area. This is theory, and it's bro science bodybuilding theory. It's not actual science driven by, studies in the lab. The idea is that it stretches the fascia, the muscle fascia, and now there is room that as it degrades and gets diminished by the body, muscle tissue will then fill up that area. And this oftentimes, hyaluronic acid and synthol, another one that is a very particular compound, I do not know the chemical composition, get conflate, and also painless pumps. There's a lot of different things people inject into their bodies. Get conflated with things like what they do in Brazil and even that Russian guy. Those people oftentimes inject things that cannot be broken down by the body, such as mineral oil. When you inject mineral oil, your body cannot break it down. So what it does is it encapsulates it. So it essentially treats it as a foreign body. The same thing that essentially happens when you inject, or when you put anything in your body. This sometimes even happens when they put treatments that people need into their body. For example, with people who have those things that measure their insulin throughout the day, it's like a little patch pin, and you just stick it in the morning. You have to put it on different parts of your body, because if your body recognizes that you're putting it in the same spot over and over and over again, then it starts to realize it's there and starts to encapsulate the area and force the product out, and then it won't even be able to read your blood glycogen at all. And so the same thing happens with foreign bodies, or what it will treat as foreign bodies, which is things like mineral oil. The theory is that certain things can be broken down. We know that certain chemical compounds that are used in testosterone injections can be broken down. But hyaluronic acid theoretically can be. The data has shown that between 6 and 12 months is how long it takes to get broken down. That's why it's even used for lip filler. I do not remember the name of what they use for it, but bodybuilders decided to try and use it to stretch their muscle fascia by injecting it intramuscularly. And then with that intramuscular stretching of the fascia, the idea is, again, over time, as the compound actually degrades, the muscle fascia will remain the same. So the compound's degrading, and then your muscle will actually start to take root in the areas where the hyaluronic acid was. There is not any technical scientific proof. A lot of the data we do have is actually on subpar products and fake products like synthol, mineral oil. When I say synthol, the issue is there are multiple things that are labeled as synthol, so you have to be very careful, because the original synthol, synthesized pump and pose, which is what was going to be called synthol, there was already somebody had already trademarked synthol. Sorry, let me turn my air filter off. I always forget to do that. Somebody had already labeled it synthol, and had labeled something else synthol, so they had to go with synthesized pump and pose, and it contains a lot of different things in it, and it can be very, very inflammatory. A lot of the different products are very inflammatory. I do not encourage the use of any of these things, to be clear. Obviously, the best thing you can do is naturally increase your muscle by growing the muscle tissue yourself by exercising, or maybe electrical muscle stimulation, if that, there's a lot of controversy around that, if that actually theoretically even works at all. But the fact of the matter is, this is something that a lot of bodybuilders do, and I wanted to talk about it. I've seen people that I know who've used hyaluronic acid and seen tremendous effects for like a month. And then I don't think that I don't see that their muscle stuck around. Like the muscle fascia actually stuck around. Like the idea that it expands the muscle fascia and then the muscle actually takes over and grows into the stretched muscle area. I haven't seen it. What I've seen is that people blow up and then they shrink with hyaluronic acid specifically, and other, oils that break down, because the fact of the matter is your body's trying to get rid of it as fast as possible because it goes foreign body, but with this one we can break down, so let's break it down as fast as possible, and then if it's something that it can't break down, it'll just encapsulate it. There's also the problem of infection. This is constant and rampant with these products because a lot of them are not controlled at all. Some of them are very good, I should be clear, but a lot of them aren't. There's also the problem with people refer to their multiple companies will call themselves like painless pumps, for example. And then they'll add like painless pumps east or west, or they'll throw something on it. And I'm not trying to discredit any of these companies. I'm sure they're fine or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, with this, you can get people say, hey, use this product. And then you go to use it, and then you get an infection because you didn't even use the same product that was recommended. It's actually a big problem in the bodybuilding industry with infections. Obviously, underground lab gear is a huge problem, as it is in general. And then, there's also, like, you can see people who, like, there was that one famous bodybuilder, he wasn't really, I don't think he ever competed, who blew up his arms with just steroid injections. People thought he was using synthol and all this other crazy crap, and mineral oil and all this stuff, and turns out he was just shooting extremely large amounts of gear into his muscles to try and get them inflamed and as large as possible. And it looked, I think his name was Greg Valentino, I may be wrong about that, but he looked massive and he looked insane, and people loved it. And he also got infected, I believe, at one point, because the other issue is a lot of underground labs don't actually even use oils that can be broken down correctly, and so that's actually a huge controversy. There's also ones that cause internal inflammation. Derek from More Plates, More Dates, and his buddy, his name is escaping me right now. I follow him on YouTube, but they make great videos explaining how just what carrier oil is used can make a huge difference in the inflammatory processes and how something will get broken down in the body. And I think that's extremely important for people to note. I also think that this is an extremely dangerous process, obviously. Sure, people can get this stuff where they get like lip filler level injections, but then they'll proceed to do the most disgusting practices of actually injecting it. They won't actually clean the area correctly. They'll do it around their dogs or something disgusting, is my point. And this can lead to infection, and it's very dangerous, and you don't want these things to happen. My anecdotal experience is that I've seen people blow up with hyaluronic acid injections, and then following hyaluronic acid injections, they just go back to their normal musculature size, maybe a little bit bigger, but I almost think that they could have achieved that without the injection because they were stretching the muscle fascia as it was when they were growing. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please follow this channel. Please subscribe. I should say follow. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Remember to keep those shoulders back and down while you lift. And until next time, don't just have a good one. Have a great one.